Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Hyundai Tucson in the XRT trim level. Now the XRT is mostly a cosmetic package. It's based on the SEL trim, which is in the middle of the road. It has some features, not completely stripped out. So it has a lot of feature capability, but it's also an all-wheel drive vehicle and it has a tow hitch and it looks cool. So it's trying to go for that tough off-road look. Not really an off-road vehicle. It doesn't have like a special suspension or more ground clearance or anything like that. No underbody protection. It is just more so a look, but also adding the tow hitch with a 2,000-pound towing capacity is nice. And also the all-wheel drive system, which is still, could handle some off-road, maybe a dirt road or something like that. But yeah, that's basically what the XRT trim is. I really like what they did with the interior here on a 2025 model on the Tucson. It looks good and very functional, easy to use. It has the gauge cluster here, which is basically a screen. It's a digital gauge cluster. The information here in the center is customizable, but this is little screen there. Little gauges are pretty much the same. But yeah, it's functional. It looks pretty cool. The steering wheel buttons are pretty straightforward. Cruise controls here on the left side, and the radio and stuff with the volume button here now, or a little scroll wheel. Now I like the way this one's kind of more textured. Maybe it's my imagination, but this one feels more textured than previous models, where if it's not textured enough, then you basically accidentally press too hard on it and then mute the radio, because if you press in, that's what mutes it. So I don't know, it just feels like a little bit better than previous ones. Maybe the other ones were worn out, or maybe it's just my imagination. But that little things like that kind of stand out to me. So it has the system here that is in pretty much all Hyundai and Kia type vehicles, and has these little tiles here. You do have a quick control here at the top. But yeah, Bluetooth, phone, valet mode set up here. So it's pretty straightforward as far as using it. Then down here is the climate control. It's a dual zone. And let's go ahead and turn it on so you can see the numbers are here, and everything's pretty straightforward. You do have some physical buttons down here for navigating on the screen. So if we hit map, you can see it doesn't have the navigation map, but you can install Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and still add that capability to the system. It just doesn't have a dedicated navigation map. It does have a physical volume knob, choosing through the stations and all that stuff. There's USB ports here, and I like the way it has a charge port here, and then it has this one, which could be a charge port, or if you press that button, it can connect with the system. And I like the way you can swap it. Because sometimes you just don't want to connect with the system, you just want to charge your phone. But there's times in which I've plugged into a vehicle and then all of a sudden it starts this whole setup process of Android Auto and all this stuff. I was like, I just want to charge my phone. So being able to connect it or not, you can do that, is great. Now there is a wireless charger right here and a little status indicator here, 12-volt power supply as well. It is an 8-speed automatic transmission, no dual clutch or hybrid system or anything like that. So it's pretty straightforward. Has the backup camera without the 360 system. Still good. There's a cup holders, and then you can access the backup camera if you want. If you press that button, it just pops it up here even when you're not in reverse. Electronic parking brake, downhill descent. You can lock a center differential so you can get a little bit better off-road capability. There's the turn off the idle stop. The drive modes, basically you have snow, my drive, which is customizable, sport, and normal. Normal's fine. Sport, I don't really care for it. Normal seems to be fine with this type of vehicle. Accelerates and has enough responsiveness. It's not necessary to basically put it in sport. Some vehicles is like, it's super not fun to drive until you put it in sport. This one is okay, This lifts up and you have a storage compartment here. I like that little shelf over there, that's nice. Yeah, so this one, the black interior, looks pretty cool. I guess it goes with the aesthetic, Not a very soft armrest, but so overall rugged and easy to clean. But yeah, looks pretty good. We have some tap lights up here. The visors are vinyl. Headliner is cloth. I like this dark chrome they got going on here on the front grille. So you have the matte black surfaces and then the dark chrome. There's a little bit of a gloss black there as well. But yeah, that dark chrome looks pretty cool. Blacked out badging and stuff for the rugged, tough look. Yeah, the cladding here on the sides. Then there is a matte black wheel. Looking pretty cool. You have the gloss black there on the pillars. Body colored handles. Doors go all the way to the bottom. And yes, hard touch surface here at the very bottom. And yeah, it's basically all black, and it has a pretty cool design, but it kind of all blends in because we're all the same color. Seats look pretty good. Now these are a simulated leather material. They look good. They're a little on the firm side, but they're not uncomfortable or anything. As the XRT kind of embossed into the back of the seat. These are heated as well. Non-locking glove compartment. I like this shelf. This is really handy. There's no sunroof or anything like that. So yeah, the way this vehicle is, it's very easy to get in and out, the height and everything. The swing of the door here in the back is great. You even have a little bit more room, so it's very easy to get in and out of the back. Basically, the very similar materials here on the back door, except for the armrest is hard touch. There's no fancy seal plate or anything. The back seats do have the car seat attachments here, just right there in that crevice. These are fold down. You have the armrest and cup holders. USB-C ports on the back here. There's center hump. Pocket on the back of the passenger side, but not the driver's side. How's these gloss black roof rails up here? There's a gloss black shark fin antenna. There is a rear wiper. It's hidden under here, under the spoiler. And the badging is kind of blended in here. Backup cameras in the center, pretty decent. Almost completely LED taillights. The turn signals are way down here at the bottom, just standard bulbs here. 2,000-pound towing capacity. There's a tow hitch. It's very obvious though, as a four-way outlet. There's the XRT badge. Looks a little bit crooked to me. I don't know if it's intended to be that way or what. Open up the power lift gate. It does have a power lift gate. Underside here is a hard plastic. All right. So this area here, the cargo area, is definitely recommend a cargo mat, because this is like super slippery carpet, so whatever you put back here is going to slide all over the place as you're driving. There is a 12-volt power supply here. You have the ability to lower these seats rapidly by just pulling those levers, so one on each side. There's a light here on this side, but not the other. So yeah, we can just kind of pull that, lower the seat rapidly, so we add to our cargo space really, really easy. Under here is a full diameter spare tire. A little bit of extra cargo spaces around it. There's the jack and stuff. But yeah, you can lower this load floor a little bit if you want to. But But yeah, either way, depending on how much subfloor storage you need. Let's go ahead and lower this other seat here. I don't know if it's gonna, it's not gonna go all the way down because I have the driver's seat too far back. But yeah, I get the idea. Have a pretty good amount of room back here. A lot of room, actually, when you fold the seats down. They don't go completely flat, but pretty close. Close enough, anyway, for most people, I would say. But yeah, you have to move the seats forward if they're too far back to fold the seats down. Has a regular fuel cap, regular fuel as well, so you don't have to use premium. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. So you can see it's oriented this way, like a front-wheel drive vehicle. It is all-wheel drive, but this way it's basically primarily front-wheel drive. There's some heat shielding and some insulation there on the firewall. So the engine, you can hear it when it revs, but just normal driving, you don't hear it once it stabilizes. Battery is easy to get to. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, puts out 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is an all-wheel drive system, what they call HTRAC all-wheel drive system. This is a relatively easy vehicle to drive. It has the systems that work well as far as like the lane keep assist, and just overall driving it, it's very easy. It's not overly big. It's a kind of a smaller size, so you can kind of zip around in town, traffic, city, that kind of stuff. It's easy to park. Now this particular trim doesn't have the 360 camera. There's some features have been stripped out for this trim, but it'd be nice if it had the 360 camera, because since this is marketed as a more off-road type vehicle, that could come in handy, right? But as it is, it's fine. And really, the off-road portion, it's just more the aesthetics. I mean, I guess if you were to go like on a dirt road or something, it's fine, right? But it's more about the way it looks. It's not really a vehicle that you're going to go on any kind of serious off-roading, right? It's just for the style of the off-road. And, it does have an all-wheel drive system. It could handle some off-road situations. But, like if you're dodging rocks or something, or with the 360 camera, maybe that's just a little bit, too much trail for this type of vehicle. But overall, if you like the looks and everything, it's a good way of getting the Tucson in a price that's more reasonable than the higher trims. And so people like the kind of off-road style and the wheels and just your overall aesthetics of it. Now this one has the black interior, but it feels good. It has this simulated leather, which feels nice. The seats are a little bit firm, but not uncomfortable. They're just not like real cushy. I really do like what they did with the interior. Really good. I like the little shelf over there. Just overall, everything is placed in a good position. It does have the wireless charger. The cup holders are in a good spot. Just overall, it just feels good. Very ergonomic as far as driving it, and putting things in and getting in and getting out. Just overall, my experience with it is fine. And it has the 8-speed automatic transmission, 2.5 liter. And so it has enough power. It takes a little bit of RPMs to get up the speed, but yeah, it's not bad. The acceleration, and I like the way it shifts, the 8-speed automatic transmission versus like a dual clutch or something in some of the other models that Hyundai puts out, where I don't really care too much about the dual clutch. So 8-speed, it feels good. It shifts through the gears fine, and the acceleration for what it is fine. It's just not really a problem. At lower RPMs, you can kind of feel a little bit sluggish or whatever. It just doesn't feel as responsive as I would prefer anyway. But yeah, once the RPMs get up there, you're getting up to the speed limit, no problem. And these type of drives like this, where it's just a long straight road, it feels good. It's just overall comfortable, easy to drive type vehicle. And I keep saying easy to drive because that's what my initial impressions are of the Tucsons, is that they're just easy to drive vehicles. They have the electric power steering. They have You know, the brakes are very responsive, and like I said, it's not overly large, so you can kind of, you know, get around easy. Now, of course, the amount of passenger space and then the cargo space have to match your needs. And this one having the tow hitch, a little tiny tow hitch on the back, is kind of interesting. So, you know, if you need to do some light towing, that would, you know, definitely come in handy. It's a little bit obvious, you know, the tow hitch is not really hidden or anything, but, you know, if you're doing towing, you're going to need it. So, thought that was a little bit interesting, having a little tow hitch back there. Now, especially if you're going somewhere and you're pulling a trailer with, say, an ATV or some type of recreational vehicle, you know, maybe a jet ski or a small boat or something like that, and, you know, that would definitely make sense for a more weekend adventure type vehicle, you know, with the off-road aesthetics and everything, and then having the all-wheel drive system for, you know, certain situations, maybe going back, you know, to your favorite fishing spot or something like that, right? And, you know, pulling in and out of the boat ramp, having that all-wheel drive system. But yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. And there's very few features that it's missing that I would care about. You know, there's some stuff that they took out, but there's just already feature rich. I mean, it's got the heated seats and stuff. And, you know, the 360 camera, you know, not a big deal, but it doesn't have it. But, you know, that has almost the full functionality of the screen over here. It's pretty good. As far as the noise, you can hear the engine, you can hear some wind noise. Very, very little, if any, road noise, just very little. But mostly wind noise. And in the engine, when it's revving, you can hear it, but when it's stabilized, when it's at that equilibrium there, then it's fine. So yeah, you can hear the wind noise. That's pretty much the main thing I've been hearing is wind noise. And it's a little windy today, so it makes sense. But still, you know, wind noise is definitely a factor in this vehicle.